Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Why Wednesday, where I try to explain a little bit about cognitive development or brain training so that you can learn a little bit more about why someone you know or love is maybe struggling with learning or life. I've covered a lot of the information shared in the book that our founder wrote, Unlock the Einstein Inside, which is a very good overview about brain training. Today, I want to start focusing on some questions that I'm often asked during a discovery period, a consultation that I have with parents or adult clients when they're trying to determine whether or not what I offer might be a viable intervention. The first frequently asked question that I want to cover today is brain training similar to tutoring? And the answer is pretty basic. We do not supplant what schools do or tutoring centers do. These are two different approaches with this wanting the same outcome in mind, and that is educating a person. Both tutoring and brain training are effective, but brain training is actually very different and offers a different solution to a learning problem. Now, when you think about education, our kids are in school from kindergarten, maybe all the way through grad school or a postdoc degree. At some point in that trajectory, undoubtedly there are going to be a blip here or there where learning is a little more difficult. They may have a more advanced class that is giving them trouble. That's not what brain training takes care of. Brain training takes care of finding a solution to a learning problem that is apparent year after year in many different subjects. Clients typically struggle with learning because of one of two issues. Either new information wasn't grasped because it was presented poorly. That can happen. Or maybe they had a third grade teacher that really didn't like science, so science was hit or miss. That's not what we address. That would be a tutoring situation. The other reason someone might be struggling in school is because of weak cognitive skills. And if those are weak, it might be making it hard for a student to grasp new information, even when it is presented well, even when it's presented well by more than one person, and even when it's presented well by more than one person numerous times. So if new information wasn't grasped because it was presented poorly or missed entirely, that's a tutoring situation. That's a tutoring intervention that can fix that problem. No problem. Brain training or cognitive development will take care of the second, where learning is a struggle over time in more than one setting, in more than one subject, with more than one educator. There are definitely times to hire a tutor. For example, if your child didn't learn classroom content because he was home with an extended illness, maybe there was a teacher on an extended medical leave and your child had a series of subs, or as I as a teacher knew, there were construction workers or lawnmowers operating outside the classroom on school grounds, and it was just content was missed. In other words, if the circumstances for why someone is struggling are identifiable, then hiring someone to re-deliver that information makes sense. But let me give you a different scenario, one in which it would make sense to hire a brain trainer. For example, if your child is struggling in school in general, struggling more than their peers, that can be a red flag, especially in the early grades where the content is uh, not quite as robust as upper grades. If they're not grasping that content at the same pace as their peers, that's a red flag. Another thing to consider is if over time they've been struggling in more than one class or for several years, um, help from a cognitive development specialist or a brain trainer can make sense. Um, and can make a real difference. This is because brain training targets the cognitive weaknesses that are keeping your child from repeatedly grasping and handling and efficiently processing new information when it's presented in class. So take that under advisement. If you have somebody who is struggling because of an identifiable circumstance, that's when you hire a tutor. If you're not sure of the issue or it's been ongoing over time, over many different subjects, give me a call and we can talk it over. The phone call's always free. As many phone calls as you want, they're always free. My name is Nancy. I can be reached at 515-523-0980, and I'm located here in the Des Moines, Iowa metropolitan area. And I'd be happy to talk with you about anything that you're concerned about. Tune in next Wednesday for another frequently asked question about brain training. Thanks and have a great day.